Today, we're going to talk about something that is, well, incredibly powerful, making an argument. Now, I know what you might be thinking. The word argument kind of brings up images of fighting or yelling, right? But we're about to flip that whole idea on its head. We're going to see how a good argument is actually one of the best ways you can share what you believe with both confidence and kindness. Okay, let's dive in. First things first, let's just clear the air. A real argument isn't about any of that messy stuff, the yelling, being mean, or twisting facts to win. No, a true, strong argument is all about respectfully sharing an opinion, but doing it with logic and with truth. See, it's about building understanding, not about tearing someone down.
So how do we actually build one of these strong, respectful arguments? Well, it all comes down to a really simple three-part structure. And once you learn to spot these three building blocks, I'm telling you, you'll start seeing them absolutely everywhere, in articles, in speeches, maybe even in your own conversations.
Okay, block number one is your claim. Just think of this as your starting line. It's the main idea you want to get across, your core opinion. It's the what of your argument. So for example, pizza is the best food. Yep, that's a claim.
Next up, you need a reason. Now, if the claim is what you believe, the reason is the why you believe it. It's the logic that holds up your main point. So if your claim is pizza is the best food, your reason might be, because you can customize it with endless toppings. Makes sense, right?
And finally, we have the third and maybe the most crucial block, evidence. This is your proof. You know, the hard facts, the specific examples, or the data that shows your reason is actually valid. Evidence is what takes a simple opinion and turns it into an argument that's genuinely persuasive and, honestly, pretty hard to ignore.
All right, so you've seen the three building blocks. We've got the claim, the reason, and the evidence. Let's put that new knowledge to the test right now. I'm going to give you a sentence, and you just decide which category it fits into. You ready? Okay, here's the first one. Schools should start later in the morning. What is that? Is it a claim, a reason, or evidence?
If you said claim, you are spot on. That sentence is a super clear opinion. It's the main point someone wants to argue. Nicely done.
Okay, how about this next one? Teens need more sleep to stay healthy and focused. What do you think? Claim, reason, or evidence?
Yep, that's a reason. Do you see how it explains why someone might believe that claim about later school start times? It gives us the logic behind the opinion.
And for our final little quiz question, according to the CDC, most teens get less than 7 hours of sleep. What's that one?
That is solid evidence. It's a specific fact from a credible source, the CDC, and it proves the reason is true. So now you've seen how all three of these pieces, claim, reason, and evidence, they all work together to build a really powerful argument. Okay, now that we can spot the individual pieces, let's put it all together and analyze a complete argument. We're going to see how these blocks stack up in a real piece of writing.
So let's take a look at a full argument. Here's a little passage about homework. I believe schools should ban homework on Fridays. Kids need a break after a full week of learning. Also, spending time with family and resting is important for health and happiness. A study from sleepfoundation.org says that rest improves focus and reduces stress. If we want students to thrive, we must let weekends be weekends. So, as I was reading that, did you start to spot the claim, the reason, and the evidence?
All right, let's break this down together. What is the single biggest opinion that the author is trying to convince us of? What is the main claim here?
The claim is right there, front and center, in the very first sentence. Schools should ban homework on Fridays. That's it. That's the whole point of the paragraph. Everything else in there is trying to support that one idea.
So, why does the author believe this? Can you find a reason they give to back up that claim?
One of the clearest reasons given is that kids need a break after a full week of learning. This explains the thinking behind the claim. It's a totally logical justification.
And, of course, to make that reason believable, the author uses some proof. What is that specific piece of evidence they share to back it all up?
And there it is. The evidence is that study from sleepfoundation.org. By citing an outside source, the author adds a ton of credibility and makes their reason way more persuasive. So, there we have it. The blueprint for a solid argument. Claim, reason, evidence. But building the argument is really only half the battle. The real power comes from how we decide to use it, the spirit in which we argue. Well, that's what truly matters.
This really just captures the heart of it all. Let's read this together. Speak it with boldness, not harshness. Explain it with reason, not rage. Stand for truth, but stand with grace. This is such a great reminder that our tone can be just as important as our facts if we really truly want to be heard.
And hey, this isn't some new idea. If you think about some of the most respected communicators in all of history, they didn't rely on anger or shame to get their point across. They used logic, compelling evidence, and powerful stories to persuade people, really modeling how to argue with purpose and with respect.
So here's the crucial takeaway. A powerful argument uses wisdom and truth to build people up, not to break them down. The goal should never be just to win. It should be to help, to clarify, and to connect with other people.
And that kind of brings this full circle, doesn't it? Mastering the art of the argument isn't just some academic skill you learn for a test. It's about learning how to share what you believe in a way that is clear, respectful, and strong. When you combine that solid logic with a genuine desire to connect with someone, you're not just making a point, you're building a bridge. And that, right there, is the real power of learning to speak your truth.